All right, boys, we got a good one for you today. This is going to be reading the MQB emo data from a 2016 Audi. And we've got the cluster here, guys. We went ahead and pulled off the back panel. And here's the back panel right here. It's just these screws here. I believe they're either T15 or T20. And that's what our back panel looks like, our board, as you can see. Our main connector, there's just a power and ground to turn this on, and there is our chip. Let me get that in. And that is our actual chip, guys. So this is the MQB, and you can kind of see the layout of the board, chip components nearby. Okay, and we're going to be using the IM608 under Emo, Audi. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Expert selection, MQB beta instrument cluster. And this is going to be the chipset NEC35. It's locked via dump. We're going to read it on bench. Okay. And our chip is actually the D70F3526. And we're going to read chip data. Actually, I hit the wrong thing. Chip data via programmer. It's going to download the schematic. All right. Loading up. And the one we're going to use that matches our chipset should be this one. Now this is going to require the APB130. It's a newer board. I'm about to show it to you in a second. Let me just pull this up. So let me make sure this is the right one. And yeah, this is the right one. This matches ours. So as you can see, we've got a power, ground. We've got this wire, the blue wire here. We've got our yellow here for reset. And on this pin, which looks to be our third pin, it looks like we're going to do a lift on that pin. And we're going to solder up to that connector. Or actually, we're going to use our clamp. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then down here, we got TR transmitter and receiver at the bottom. And as I said, we're going to be using the APB130. Here it is. And this is it. Let me pull it out. And this is how it comes. It comes with its wire harness, as you can see. And this is the actual board. Pretty simple. And there's the IC it uses. And as you can see, the connectors here, the two connectors here, it just sits onto your programmer like this. By the way, man, anytime you hear anybody, an American guy saying like so on a video, trust me, man, that's all from YouTube. No one in America uses that. That's, I believe, 100% English. So it goes like this. And then, of course, you're going to then connect your connector here after you solder up your points. All right, guys, when you're working with ICs this small, with spacing this small, you're definitely going to want to have the finest tweezers possible to get between these ICs and lift pins or any kind of manipulation you might want to do. And that's why you want to head over to globalcommerceca.com. We've got everything there for you. This is just to avoid the crazy emails I get. You guys have no idea. One guy's gonna email me and say, hey man, I didn't click on the link in the description. I didn't go to globalcommerceca.com. I didn't buy the tools that I need for the job. Instead, I borrowed my grandma's safety pin, and now I poked the hole through the processor and the board, and there's smoke everywhere. Guys, click the link. Make sure you got the right tools for the job, boys. You're going to avoid following my instructions. I've got a guide on lifting pins. You're going to avoid ripping pads, doing a bunch of crazy stuff that you're going to do. You've never done this before. Trust me. You're going to want to follow my guides, watch the whole video from beginning to the end, and do the right thing, man. All right, boys, here we go. We're going to put a little bit of flux onto that third pin that we're going to lift. And you want to have your iron up to about at least 370. Most important thing, you don't want to leave your iron on this because the heat will travel all the way through that chip. So you want to leave that iron on there about a second or two, 3 seconds at the most, and pull it off. I've got this sped up by 2.5 times. I actually moved it a little bit too much. As you can see, I'm using my tweezers to kind of manipulate it, and I did a little bit too much. I don't like to move that much because this is very thin, small wire, and it will get damaged. And at this point, we're going to put a little bit of we're going to solder that wire up a little bit more flux so we can solder the white wire onto this pin. And we've got separation, which is fine. And here we go. Also, be sure to check out my other videos. I got Audi videos, more all keys lost. Here we go. I've already got a little solder on that wire. You want to make sure you do that first. And you do not want to be manipulating this at all. Yeah, so this view is just to show you the difference in scale so you can see how small it is and why it's important to have the right tools, okay? And it's incredibly easy to rip a pin or a pad or anything like that from components this small and this thin. So keep that in mind, guys. So that small connection, that's what my zoom can kind of get to. You can barely see it or make it out. But on the microscope, that's what it actually looks like. So that's kind of what you want to achieve, guys. And it'll be pretty much easy to sit that right back down with the right tools and everything and solder it back up. All right, so now we got our first wire connected up, of course, the most challenging, and that's ready to go. So now we're going to do the rest of them. All right, guys, so here it is. So we got the XP400 hooked up and all our points we just did. So now we're going to go ahead and go on to the IM608. Okay, now we're going to go back. And here's the instructions, by the way, guys. So we do need to connect 12 volts to the programmer. So let's go ahead and do that. And by the way, connect it up. Once you solder these up, you want to manipulate these wires as little as possible. You're going to want to move this XP400 or anything else so that you have minimized any movement on your wires, and especially on the white wire there, because remember that pin is very fragile. All the pins are, so you want to manipulate that as little as possible. Even I manipulate even more than I would normally want to, but it's going to work. Okay, so now we're going to tell it okay. It's connected to the XP400. Reading data should take about 5 to 10 minutes, it says, guys. And the XP400's actually got the light on, flashing there on the board, and we're at 7%. Let's see the time down there. I'll bring you back. All right, it was at about 10:08 when we left off, and it's about 97%. So that's about 10 minutes there. And we're still going. As you can see, our LED is still up and it's still reading 99%. %. So it took right at 11 minutes. And I'm just going to leave it with a default name because it has the date. Tell it okay. And it's going to show us our path. Saving. I'm going to pull that file to see how big it is. As you can see, it takes a minute to save. And there it is. That is our path. And that's it. We pulled it. Next, we can go to calculate emo data. Okay, we've already got that file. And there is our, actually it's here. there is our file, and as you can see, it's 3.1 megs, right? So tell it okay. It's going to calculate now. So take a minute. And there it is. Decoding succeeded. Yes. And I'm just going to save it as a default. Okay. MBQ dump emo data. Okay. And there it is, guys. There's our VIN number. There's our CS code. And as you can see, it has 2 keys programmed. So we can go ahead and add keys. We'd have to make a dealer key first. And to this, you're going to need to pull the, we'll tell it no. Since we don't have a key, if you had a key, you could manually enter the 32-byte ECU sync data. We don't have that right now. And then you could go to, once you make the dealer key, you can then go to key learning and then program that key to the vehicle. And that's it. You guys, click that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Definitely check out the link in the description. Check out the website for any tools, anything you might need. And also check out the members areas. We got a lot of tools for you there as well, guys. And see you on the next one. Remember, like I always say, if you didn't know this, now you know. And knowing is half the battle, boys.